Well, hello and welcome to today's episode of the A New Day Show. I am your host, Dynamic Daphne, and again, I'm excited to be here in the studio with you. For this episode, we will be speaking on a topic that is extremely dear to my heart over the years. For those of you who have known me for a while, you know how passionate I am about one's calling and purpose. So, for this episode tonight, I want you to grab your pen and papers or whatever it is that you want to write with, and I want you to take some notes as we continue with this dialogue. So the topic we are speaking on this evening is claiming and staying true to your life purpose. I decided to choose this topic because I have been having some conversations with people I've known for a long time, and people are really uneasy. There are some people that have lost their jobs or in fear of losing their jobs, and there are some of them who really do not have the understanding that there are certain seasons in our lives that comes to an end. And sometimes these seasons are relationships, marriage, long-term relationships, or marriage, or long-term commitment. Sometimes it's seasons with family members, sometimes it's seasons with jobs, careers, or vocation. So I'm having this conversation with you because I want you to understand that so long as you know who you are and you understand that you were called for a purpose, and you understand that there are times in your life when you must grow. Sometimes growth can be easy and comfortable, and other times it is painful. But I'm here to tell you, during the painful times are the times when you are going to be getting the best result. So, the first thing I want to tell you to focus on when you're trying to work on your calling and purpose or connect to what your true calling and purpose is, here is one thing I want you to bear in mind. The first thing, what are you losing sleep over at nights? There are situations, there are circumstances, there are issues. Maybe in your community, some things you hear on the news and just something. Create a list of things that, simply put, you're just not comfortable with it. You are losing sleep over it. So create a list of those things. After you create that list of things, I want you to look them over, and if there are certain things that kind of goes into the same category, I want for you to group those things together. Choose a heading for each group. Some things might be like personal development. Other things could be like community activism. There could be child advocacy, things like that. Healthy living, alternative lifestyle, all those things. So look on what's on your list. And after you create that master list, I want you to divide them and put them in groups. All right? And after you do that, you lay them aside, lay that list aside. The next thing I want you to work on and to ask yourself during this process, what am I passionate about? What excites you? What put the pep in your step every day you get up? What it is. I want for you to jot all the things down on that paper. So now you create the other lists about what you're losing sleep over. Now you're creating the second list about what you are passionate about. You get so excited. You think about it and your adrenaline start pumping. Your heart start pumping. Your pulse start racing. List all of those things. And I want you to write this particular list, the list that deals with the things that you're passionate about. I want for you to write that in red. Okay? And you notice I'm telling you to write, not to type. And I'll tell you the reason why. When you write things, you are making a commitment to follow through. Versus when you type. When you type, it's just the fingers going. But when you write, you're connecting your brain, you're connecting your heart, and it's done. So I want you to be old school and write them down, physical, pen and paper. Get a composition book or a white sheet of paper and write them down. So the list of passions will be done in red, and the other one you can do in pencil or pen, the things that keeps you up at night and that you're grouping, you can do that in pen or pencil in case you want to add more things as you go along. But the passion things I want you to write in red. And leave room to add more things, because I'm here to tell you, after you create that list, you're going to be going to your beds, and you know what's going to happen in the middle of the night. You are going to be saying, oh my God, I forgot to put this on the paper. So keep it on the nightstand next to you so you can just turn the light on and just write that thing that you did not remember. Or if you are like me, you probably have your journal that you can keep it next there and write it in as well. So you create the list about the things that's keeping you up at nights. The second thing, what are you passionate about? Number 3, ask yourself the question, where do I find the most joy? Where and how do I find the most joy in my life? For each and every one of us, it's different. What it is for you. Again, get a sheet of paper. You write that at the top of the paper. Where and how do I find my most joy in life? And you create a list. This list, I'm going to ask you again to put it in red. All right? And then you put some stars beside that. Okay? So you create that list for yourself. Look back over your life as far back as you can go. Look way back. As I say, peel the onion back and dig deep. Dig deep, peel back, dig deep, peel back, dig deep, and come up with all those things. Even from childhood, because there are some things that as children, we used to be so excited about. And what happened? Over the years, as we grow up, we tend to not want to do those things again, or we push them aside for different reasons, which we are going to be talking about later on. Sometimes it's out of guilt or fear or humiliation, just a lot of different things that helps us to strip ourselves of those amazing dreams and vision that we had. But I'm here to tell you, it is never, never too late. Never too late for you to take them up and brush them off again and start to polish them. How do you feel when you are not experiencing happiness? What's going on in your life when you're not happy? Create a list about that thing too. Because what I'm having you do here is to do an inventory of you, okay? The way you see yourself, the way you view yourself, not the way anybody else tells you or assess you. And towards the end, I'm going to tell you, after you do these inventory for yourself and certain other questions I'm going to have you ask yourself, then I want you to go find somebody else who I'll tell you who that person will be, and you sit down and have a brainstorm session with the person, and then you're going to have a moment where you can use what the person is telling you plus what you have discovered for yourself and use that to your advantage. So after you create those, the 4 lists, the one about what you're losing sleep about, what are you passionate about, and the next thing, where and how you are finding joy in your life. And the next one was how and when you feel happy. What is happening in your life when you are at your happiest? Don't hold back. Don't be stingy. Just write everything down. And after you do that, you put your list aside again. Now, there are 5 important things I am going to have you work on now after you create this list. Because remember, I'm helping you to claim in and stay true to your calling and purpose. It is very important. I can tell you from personal experiences that I have been approached by many people. You know, people just want to read somewhere that I used to do Mary Kay Cosmetics or other things, and everybody wants you to come into this, and everybody want you to come into that. And I had to understand about why I was brought here in this world and what I needed to stay true to, and to respectfully say no with a smile and be happy about saying no and not feeling guilty about saying no, and also to politely let others know that your dreams are yours, and although I support and embrace what you're doing, it is not mine. And you don't have to feel guilty when you say that, because people end up respecting you when they decide you want to run your own race. So stay true to you and to what you were called to do. And I know that there are many who yet do not realize why they are. And I hope by the time you're through listening to this segment, you will have a better understanding of what your true life purpose is and what it will take for you to stay true to that. Okay. A lot of times, if for some of you, you go to networking events or even church or some supermarket or something, and somebody will probably introduce you to someone else. Here, oh, meet my friend Daphne, and the person will probably shake hands with you, and then the next thing they'll ask you, well, who are you? And too often, I hear people answer that question with what they do. So, who are you? Oh, I'm a nurse, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm an accountant. That's not who you are. Who you are is simple, your name. Who are you? I'm Daphne Clarke-Hudson from New Milford, Connecticut. You are John Smith from, St. John's, Minnesota, wherever. But do not mix up who you are with what you do. So I hope that gives you a little clarity. The next thing people oftentimes ask us is what you do. Now is the time to explain your vocation, trade, or career. All right? So now, we talk about who you are, being your name, what you do, being your career, vocation, job, all of that. All right? So you see the difference between who you are and what you do. They are two separate things. You are not your job. You are not your business. You are not your career. They are two different entities. And I want you to understand and remember that. So here is where the switch turns around. Because your calling and your purpose is what we are focusing on here this evening. We want you to claim and stay true to your calling and purpose. I gave you a list of inventory items that you collected already. So now, how are you going to horn into what your calling and purpose is? Here's what happened now. After you identify who you are, which is your name, and your name, your birth name, not Mrs. So-and-so or, such and such mother or husband or, some of the stuff that you all do, but your name, that's who you are, okay? Then what you do is whatever you're doing at the time, whether you work at a restaurant as a server, or you're a cashier, or you are in retail doing such, that's what you're doing then. So now I'm helping you to find your calling and purpose. So, what you do, for some of you, it is already your calling and purpose. So, what you do, the next question you're going to be asking yourself is, who do you do what you do for? All right? Once you identify this question, I want you to go back over the list that states all of your passions. And I want you to look on that list and see what on that list adds up to this question here. And check it off. Put a double star next to that. Because if you are finding a large number that from the list of the things that you're passionate about that answers this question, you are already operating in your calling and purpose. You got me? Do I need to repeat that? Once you find out who you are doing what you do for, refer to the list you created earlier on, the one that's written in red about what you're passionate about. Take this question, line it up with the answers on that list, and check them off or number them or put letters next to them in a different color ink, so you can see how many of these things on that list of the things you're passionate about really answers this question for you. Got it? Okay. Now, the next thing I want you to ask yourself, why am I doing that for those people? What do they want? What do they need? If you are already in a business, I want you to ask yourself, why did they come to me? What did they need? What did they need? Why they come to me? Why do they need? Why are they coming to me? Why are they still doing business with me? Again, you look on that list again, on the one that you are passionate about, and you say, this is what I have here, this is what I have here, and this is what is on this list. I want you to also note that your list is for you. It is authentically yours. Do not allow others to change your list because they think that is what you ought to be doing. Don't do that. You need to listen to your heart and list on that list what your heart tells you to. And if you are someone that's believe in prayer and meditation and all of that, you can really seek and search and find during those quiet times in prayer or meditation guidance towards these exercises that I'm telling you to do. But I'm here to tell you it works. I've been doing them for years and it still works. It works. So you just do them instead of running raggedy like a chicken without a head, trying to get somebody else's approval. I want you to do this exercise for yourself. So now, on this list, you understand who you are, your name. What you do is what you are getting paid to do right now. Who do you do that for? You're listing who you do it for, and then you're looking over and you list of passions and know why you do it for them. What are those people looking for? Why are you working with them? Why? And you'll put that on the paper. Now, here is the big bang that I have for you. After you have done all of that, you look on the one with the red, the passion. You also go back over the one that's keeping you up at nights. After you work on the sheet with the red, I want you to go to sheet 1 or the list 1 that you created, and I want you to also look on there from the list of things that you're losing sleep over and that's keeping you up at nights. Look on there and see if there's anything on that list that is on here. So you pull all of those things together. Now you are on your way because you have just created what your calling and purpose is. So you look at it, you pull it together, and you read it out for yourself. For me, my personal calling in life is to help people give their greatest work and products or service to the rest of the world. And I do that in many ways. So what's yours? What is your life calling and purpose? I want you to take the time to analyze that, assess that, and stay true to that. Once you have put the time into this, I encourage you to be all in, 100%. Once you put the time in and you create this list and you put the time in the exercise, stay all in. Do not quit on you. Do not give up on yourself. Do not allow anybody in who will discourage you. So after you have all this together, I want you to find the best confidant that you can. Someone who you trust their judgment and their evaluation. Someone who will allow you to cry on their shoulders. Someone who will laugh with you when you make all the accomplishments. And share with them the new project that you have worked on. And also share with them the outcomes that you have gotten out of here. The next person I want for you to get is a mentor. Sometimes the mentor and confidant can be one of the same, but you do what's best for you. The next person that I want you to invest in is to get a coach, because the coach is going to help you to stretch way beyond your limit and to help you to live bigger dreams. Okay? So I hope that you take the time to work on this exercise so that it can help you. And on a closing note, I want to give a shout out, as they say, or an on-air gratitude to one of my Danbury listeners, Mr. Peter Green, for taking the time to call and to express his gratitude for the show. I thank you, Mr. Green, and I ask that you encourage others to watch the show and to call in. And with that being said, I invite you all to call in. The number to call is 203-794-6208, 203-794-6208. Call us. Let us know what the show has done for you or is still doing for you. Join me on Twitter at Dynamic Daphne, also on Facebook at Dynamic Daphne. For those of you who are on LinkedIn, I want for you to check me out on linkedin.com at Daphne, not at, / Daphne Clarke-Hudson. And if you want to get my free ebooks or free MP3s that I'm giving away, please visit me at DaphneClarkeHudson.com or DaphneClarkeHudsonEmpowers.com. So we just look forward to seeing you here. We are planning to have a live radio show, TV show very soon. And we hope that when we announce that you'll come in here in the studio and join us and to just give us your continued support. So again, I just hope that you have got something out of here that you can use. And by all means, share it with somebody. Don't be selfish. Especially if you're a female, I know you will. Just think about it as if when you go into the mall and you find a 20% coupon, what you do, the first thing we do, we ask the sales clerk, can I have one for my friend? When does it expire? And we want to take it to the friend who wasn't there. And I want you to do the same thing with this segment. You watch it, you got something out of it. I want you to call up a friend and share with them. And if you have people in different towns or even states that you think will benefit from these amazing episodes of their New Day show, I want you to call us here at Comcast, or you can email me at dynamicdaphne12@att.net for more information.